Let's talk about September 2024. It's a month in which we're going to have some interesting changes. Certainly, we have four planets changing signs. We have the first eclipse in the Pisces part of our sky that's going to be about 2 years of eclipse stories. We also have some pretty intense material happening in the September 25th to the October 2nd timeframe that could look like a catastrophic water event like a hurricane or tsunami or some turbulence in the climate during that time. And finally, I want to draw our attention to one of the most beautiful things in the sky. It's Venus's yearly transit over the two stars, Spica and Arcturis, that are going to be able to bring us individually and collectively a bright spot of luck and success. And I'm going to attach that part of the sky to the all signs portion of today's video. I've already put out my all signs videos. Each one is about 30 minutes long for the month of September. Those videos have come out on August the 25th. So go back and watch this video for your sun sign, moon sign, and rising. Your rising is all about you, your character in the game of life. The sun is the avatar game player. And, the rising is the avatar itself. The moon is things to do with the soul that animates the body, but also things on a practical note to do with your home and your emotional and mindset about things in life. So go listen for all three signs if you like. The all signs videos are doing well. They're already out. But this is going to attach to the all signs portion, something I did not talk about at all in the videos that you've already been given. And that is how when Venus crosses Spica, and she does this in a trine to Jupiter, connected to asteroids Eros and Cupido, we're going to see a little bright spark of about 3 days in which you got some success, some luck, some goodness, some divine blessings. And we're going to share how you could perhaps use that day rather than just let it go by and use it for your sign. So when you're listening, we'll give you the delineations and the all sign portions. In the meantime, the first part of my video is all about the world as it pertains to the major events of September 2024, because it is an election build-up month and things are intense. I'm going to be showing you the sky, but before we do that and do the all signs as well, let me say a few things. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothy, and I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac whole sign houses, and I love fixed stars and minor asteroids. In the fixed stars today, of course, we're going to talk about Spica and Arcturus, or Spica, call it what you want. We'll also talk about Algol, because Algol is a part of the narrative with Uranus as well, and we can't get rid of Medusa's head and the beheading and all the darker sides of Algol, no matter how hard we try. So we'll be talking about what Algol is up to in the month of September, relationally to Uranus as well. Now, the first part of my video is probably going to be at least 45 minutes long about world events, then probably half an hour for your sign. So please stick around for the world events portion. I would appreciate you do that. It helps the algorithm for watch time. So if you're not sure you like this kind of content, give it a try. And the only thing I'm promoting is Sky Reader, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life. My 6-week live course is starting up the third weekend, the last weekend in September, runs for 6 weeks. Check it out in the description box below. There's a button to give you a course description, and there's another button that shows you the wait list where you sign up for that. And then you're going to get early notice for discounts, but also you'll know when the enrollment cart opens up. I love teaching this class. It's my 5th time around. You get evergreen forever access to the course. So once you take the course, it's yours forever, and it's got homework, it's got weekly coaching calls with me live, as well as a Facebook group for private homework assessments by me and my fellow assistant astrologers. Let's get going and talk about September's overview. I don't even know what to call this month of September. I haven't done the what do you call it, thumbnail yet. I'd say something like bracing for change, maybe, because it's really about October where everything really gets going, in my opinion. So number one, sign changes matter and dignity matters. And so there's always a feeling in a month ahead, like, is it much different than the last month? Yes, obviously, because planets will change signs. In this case, always it's Venus and Mercury changing signs. And of course, Venus and Mercury change signs, and we'll get into that. But the good news is Venus goes into her dignity in Libra for the first 3 weeks, and Mercury will move into his own dignity on September 9th to the 26th. We get quite a mid-range time of September where both planets are in great strength, and that brings goodness and strength and stability and positivity to the world and to you and to me. So we don't mind September 9th to the 26th. We have Mercury in his Virgo kingdom, and August the 29th to September 22nd, we've got Libra hanging out Venus in our own Libra kingdom. So these bode well as sign changes that we would prefer for a majority of September. And so, yay, it's at the end of September where we lose dignity. And that's when, of course, Venus moves into Scorpio on September 23rd. And that is a weak place for the goddess of love, money, and peace. And also, Mercury moves into neutral dignity. Okay, when he leaves on the 26th of September into Libra. So the strength of the sky wanes as we move towards the end of September. In the world and in your own life, that means you should do things that are important to you, that you want to have positive results in before the dignity wears down a little bit. And we'll sort of address that a bit in the all signs section as a broad theme. Second of all, Pluto is also changed signs, and that's what makes it a lot more rare. Holy moly. And Mars is also changing signs, which makes it a lot more rare. This gives it kind of a base note energy. Like if you want to think about Mercury and Venus, the fast moving planets between the Earth and the Sun, as sort of like, well, I don't know. I could say that they are like the lighthearted melody, but the bass note themes underneath the surface, like kind of boom, 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 you know, that is the Pluto. And that is more like the Mars is kind of in the medium range. So I don't know enough about instruments, but something with a really deep bass would be Pluto, and then we move a little bit into the middle as Mars, and then we got the trilling of Venus and Mercury. So Mars moves into Cancer. And for the world, this is a detriment place. For Cancer is not Mars's happy place. Normally, when Mars is in Cancer, when he moves into that part of the chart, it's for a short time. Last year, it was March the 28th. Well, it's usually every 2 years. There are exceptions to that. But we last saw Mars moving through Cancer, the watery place of the moon, the temple of the moon, March 28th. Of 2023 to May 21st of 2023. But this is an incredibly long stay because of a retrogradation, making it incredibly rare. And so while he does move in September on the 4th through to November 3rd, moving through the sign of Cancer, and because of retrograde, he backs up into the sign of Leo, and then he goes forward again on January the 6th in Cancer, or he actually retrogrades on January the 6th into Cancer, meaning he will be in Cancer from January 6th to April the 18th. January 6th to April 18th. And he's also in Cancer September 4th to November 3rd. So if you're a Cancer rising sun or moon listening to this is a really important and really rare time for you. My Mars in Cancer video, which will be at least 2 years long, 2 hours long, I swear, is coming out a few days after this video, which is coming out on a Sunday. Recording today, August the 27th, for my Patreon community who gets this early access ad-free. Now, Mars in Cancer is like patriotic or nationalistic often, because Cancer means home and homeland, protecting the family. It's, a mother bear, and Mars is advocacy, champion, warrior, hero, fighter, soldier. And so you often get a kind of fierce love of homeland, a fierce urge to protect the home and homeland. When the United States, when you want to go into things like isolationist or MAGA, make America great again, make it made in America, bring it all home, be a champion for the home and homeland. That's very much a MAGA energy, by the way. Mars in Cancer. Trump is born with his 26-degree Mars trining his 23-degree moon in Aries. So he's already a moon Mars guy. He gets it. MAGA, make America great again, is Mars Cancer energy. But when Mars is in Cancer's home sign, which is about the family and protection and emotions and mother, and Mars is war and cutting. No, he's not good. He's in the sign of his fall. Whereas Mars is in the sign of his exaltation and the more mature and steady and Saturnian ruled and mountain climbing energies of Capricorn. I always think of Mars in Capricorn and his exaltation as the guy who goes from base camp to the top of the Himalayan mountaintop. He's got the tenacity, perseverance, and strategy to climb that mountain of resourcefulness and often power. But in Cancer, he's emotional, and he might go off the flare off the handle, really, like a big emotional outburst, which causes harm, right? Because he got a sword in his hand or a weapon. So Mars will be in Cancer in the month of September. And later, Venus will be in Scorpio after the 23rd. We have two planets in detriment overlapping the last week of September. And I'm going to be talking about why I think September will either be something, it could be a terrorist attack on American soil, because Mars is in the 8th house of United States Sibyl chart, which is a house of sort of death on home territory or war on home territory archetypally. And Venus is in Scorpio in the sign of her detriment, which in the United States Sibyl chart as a Sag rising is that can be a house of hidden enemies. And so hidden enemies connected to territorial war, connected to mass death. So either the last week of September involves, because of asteroid Apophis, opposite Gong Gong and Neptune, either a massive water event that's catastrophic, like a hurricane or tsunami or earthquake. And we go earthquake with Uranus, Taurus, Algol anyway, or we go with home soil terrorist event like 9/11. And I have been having 9/11 synchronicities like crazy. And I dreamt about the trade towers before the trade tower event. I used to live underneath the trade towers in New York City and in Battery Park City. And then I moved to Washington, and I was in the Washington area. I was living near Fort Meade military base, actually, out in Annapolis when 9/11 happened. And about 5 months, 6 months before 9/11, I'm trying to remember how many months before, but I dreamt about the trade towers, and they were shaking, and they were literally like moving back and forth, and there was fire, and I was running down the stairs of one of the towers, and having lived near them and been in those towers, right? I totally thought that was weird. I know the terrain, but then in the dream, I interpreted it as stock market turbulence. Like I didn't know how to interpret it, right? I thought, the stock markets are going to be awfully wobbly. But indeed, what it really was a real story to do with the shaking towers and the fire. And the day of 9/11, I was sitting in my home in Annapolis, Maryland, getting ready to do a reading for a client. I was a psychic reader, and I woken from a dream that I was in, that Timothy McVeigh, the homegrown Oklahoma bomber terrorist, people called him the homegrown terrorist, Oklahoma City bomber, who had by then been, I believe, executed. But I dreamt about him, and I was in a big ballroom at the Ballroom Hotel of the New York City Marriott Hotel in Times Square, which I've been to. And I knew the hotel, I knew the ballroom of the hotel for reasons I won't get into. And I knew I was in the Times Square Marriott Hotel ballroom in Manhattan, dancing with Timothy McVeigh, a terrorist. And I woke up and said, why am I dreaming about a terrorist in New York City? And then that day, because I woke up at 7 a.m. later that day, the towers were hit, right? So I'm a prophetic dreamer. So I want to give you a warning. Number 3, I had a dream. I was on the Eastern Seaboard, like Chesapeake Bay-ish, where I used to live. And there was some kind of projectiles or bombs or missiles or something coming in from the Eastern Seaboard toward the United States. But I perceived myself kind of Chesapeake Bay-ish. And therefore, that dream happened not long ago, just around the time the Baltimore Bridge went down. And I thought, oh, maybe that's what the dream was. But in the dream, it wasn't a boat hitting a bridge. It was projectiles coming in off the shore. So that dream still hasn't happened. And usually I prophetically dream 6 months, no more than a year in advance. So just to share, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but life is life. And because I have a prophetic side of me, and I'm born with the asteroid Pythia on my ascendant, the Oracle of Delphi, and my moon on the crystal ball gazer in the house of scrying and divining, I have a tendency to see forward. That's all. So September, that's a thought of a possible problem anytime from September the 25th, maybe through to October the 3rd or 4th, based on some of the sky stories going on in concert with that dream. Now, we also can say hurricanes, earthquakes, tidal waves, and flooding. And I'll show you some of the sky stories. I'm going to give you the sky. So number 1, we talked about sign changes, dignity, a lot of things changing signs. Pluto has back-ended into Capricorn retrograde. Pluto will be there till November 19th. So September the 1st to November 19th, Pluto in Capricorn. I put a video about what that means. The last stand, the grand finale, the last in a lifetime, Pluto in Capricorn for the world. I mean, Me Too movement, Occupy Wall Street, all of that stuff. Pluto and Capricorn is back again. And that could indicate we're going to go back into some darker stories to do with Wall Street, money, power, slimy stories being revealed again, yet again. Tyrants, dictators, oligarchies, Pluto and Capricorn. Those narratives will be back in stock markets and stock market challenges, Pluto and Capricorn, just like we had in 2008 with the subprime loan scandal and then the massive downdraft in the US housing and stock markets. So Pluto's back for a last gasp at 29 anoretic, turbulent degrees of Capricorn. All right. This is where Robert Kennedy Jr., R.F.K. Jr., has his Mercury at 29 Capricorn and his Sun at 27 Capricorn. So he's being influenced energetically by engagement from a retrograde Pluto. He's just stepped up to say he's for Trump. He's going to get off the ballot, but he's having trouble getting off the ballot in certain swing states, and he may not be able to get off the ballot. I did a video called Is R.F.K. a spoiler for the election? I put it only to my Patreon community, but people are asking me to put that out there. So I will reissue that video done a couple months back and put it into my out here with you guys. And so I'll put that out so you can watch that video if you like. All right, moving on then. Moving on. We also have a semi-square, a half square between Saturn and Pluto forming in the last week of September. Now, I don't normally do half squares. It's not my cup of tea, but it's the first energetic signature between Pluto and Saturn conjunction that we had that started the pandemic. And now the first square is what I'd normally talk about. Like, oh, here's the first real challenge, but this is not a square. This is a half square between these two slow moving beasts. Pluto, 248 years, Saturn, every 29 and a half years. So if it's going to have any traction, it's going to look like it connects to the things that started back in the day, maybe the lockdowns, the pandemic things. Pluto, Saturn conjunction happened in Capricorn back in January of 2020. So possibly this is an extension of pandemic central. I know monkeypox is trending. I know that maybe bird flu can escape the cattle and maybe in our cats. I think I read that. So if we're going to see another pandemic narrative or a plague narrative, we could see that for sure. We've got Neptune, 29 degrees of Pisces at the end of the month, Apophis, world-destroying asteroid opposite Neptune. I'm more likely to think that's going to be a tsunami or hurricane, but it could also be a resurgence of another pandemic. Some people think monkeypox is airborne. It's not, but it's spittle-borne, I guess, droplet-borne. But because if you have a pussy lesion, then you may get your pussy lesion spit and out it goes and you sneeze on someone. But it's not airborne. Its transmission is through pustules, pox. And so someone corrected me in the YouTube down below. There's something called R0. How contagious is something? Measles is really contagious. COVID was just as bad, or if not worse than measles, in terms of tiny little airborne particulates that went through any mask unless you had an N95 that was well fitted, or N97. And so that's not this. That's not this. I mean, sure, maybe somebody's got some pusses in their mouth and they're getting little pox developing. They don't know, like a cold sore maybe, and maybe it's still transmissible at that stage. I haven't heard that. So you have to ask yourself, is this scare tactics? Is this more of pandemic stories? Is this more testing humanity for how coercive humanity can be when it's threatened by a virus? The best thing to do when you bring threatened by a virus, as anyone knows, is boost your immunity. Take your vitamin C, your vitamin D, eat healthy, exercise regularly, take immune boosting foods, nutrient rich foods, be healthy. That's the best you can do, really, honestly. If you're immune compromised, of course, that's different. If you have HIV or some other, you're on an immunosuppressant, then no, you're exception to the rule. Definitely get a vaccine if you know that you're immune compromised, especially with monkeypox. End of story. Done. Complete. Moving past that story. But I will give you a heads up. I don't think we're in for a major pandemic in my view, but I could be wrong. I haven't had any dreams about it. I've had dreams about pandemics before pandemics have happened. I haven't been dreaming pandemics. So I don't think that's the major thing. I think it's terrorist events, cyber attacks, and or climate event change if we have any threatening things in the next couple of months. And the eclipse, last but not least. I'm going to show you the sky. The first eclipse is happening in the sign of Pisces, and the Virgo new moon that's happening on September 3rd is the new moon that becomes a full moon eclipse in March. So we have the beginning of the energies of eclipses moving through this part of the Virgo and Pisces axis. And just so you know, it's still hybrid. The nodes are in Libra and the nodes are in Aries. But if you want to know what this eclipse cycle is about, I'm putting out a long deep dive video into the new eclipse axis is coming up. If you want to get the gist of that, I want you to compare dates, and let me find it. The last time we had eclipses moving through the Libra Aries axis of our chart would take you back to the March of 2006 to February of 2008 window. With an eclipse in February, then you give it another 6 months. So we're talking about 26, 27, into 2006, 2007 into 2008. We had eclipses in Virgo and we had eclipses in the sign of Pisces. Of course, we had the subprime loan scandal and the downdraft in the markets then. So we may see repeats of those stories of housing and stock market crash and crisis yet again. So that's a strong possibility of a repeat. And with the planet Uranus on Algol, the star of the stock market of the United States, and with the conjunction of Mars and Uranus on Algol at 15 degrees on July 15th, we may see a kind of a downdraft that's much more extensive, much more 1929-ish in this sky, rather than just a temporary thing that a quick bailout can do a trick to fix, right? We might be talking about more depression than recession energies in the sky for the world. Going back further in time, you could go back to September of 1987 to August of 1989, and we had eclipses in Pisces and we had eclipses in Virgo. We had Black Monday in 1987. So we've been through a little bit of a downdraft back then, but it was nothing that bad in terms of stock markets, etc. But we also saw other things happen. So we can try to tie that into the Berlin Wall collapsing, the end of communism in the sense of like the nuclear armaments problem, the de-escalation of the Cold War, Glasnost starting 87 to 89 energetically, that was all building up then. So maybe we could see some kind of new kind of peace between axes of enemies and Cold Wars. I know Iran just recently said it wanted to talk nuclear disarmament treaty again with the United States. I'm recording on August 27th. My partner just told me that. I hope that's true. But that would mean like de-escalating with the Iran, the evil, bad Iran, and United States policy might change regarding that. And I don't know, guys, what was happening in 2006 to 2008 in terms of world events and Cold War country energies. I'll be doing that in my deep dive. Okay. That's not coming yet. Well, that's when I get into the eclipse video coming up in a week or two from now, 2 weeks from now, maybe. All right, here's the sky. Don't forget, I will be doing your sign. We're going to talk about Arcturis, Spica's wealth and luck stars that are activated this week, this month ahead. I'm going to tell you when to use that energy, how to use that energy for your sign. And in the meantime, this is my world overview videos that I'm putting out each month now. So your all signs videos are out. Reminder, here is the sky. I'm just going to whip us through the sky. I want you to watch the pieces of the story moving. We start off on September the 1st. We can see that we have Uranus sitting here turning retrograde on September the 1st. One thing to note is that this is a story in 3 parts. Connect these dots, please connect these dots. On July 15th, okay, we had Mars-Uranus conjunction on Algol. Okay, but we also want you to know that Uranus comes back to Algol on October 13th and 14th. These are broad orbs. You're going to feel it like 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after that. Uranus Algol is coming back from a retrograde. There's Algol currently at 26:30 minutes of the sky. It's on Donald Trump's ascendant. It's on the sun of the New York Stock Exchange chart. It's on close enough to count to the son of Israel, the nation of Israel. It's opposite the son of Joe Biden. So every time Uranus touches Algol, Something's going to hit Biden, Israel, the nation of Israel, and the leader of Israel, which is Netanyahu, and something's going to touch down on New York Stock Exchange energy. So having Uranus cross over this part of the sky can only happen once every 84 years. The last time Uranus Algol stories happened was back in the late 1920s and 1930s. So we're back to old territory. And we had a depression back then. So Uranus goes back over Algol October 13th, 14th, and then again May 3rd and 4th of 2025. Well, the asteroid America is conjunct Uranus Algol. So there's a lot of intensity in the sky regarding things to do with opposite Joe Biden's sun, close to on Trump's midheaven, close to the sun or the leadership or the governing leaders of Israel, and close to things to do with the stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, which is a barometer for the health of Wall Street, right? Okay, there we go. So keep those dates in mind. Number 2 are about the sky. As we begin the month of September, we're bundling into that new moon as happening. But before the new moon happens, and I talk about this in the all signs delineation, what the heck is this? I want to ask you what you guys think this is. Venus co-joins the South Node in Libra. She could only do that once every 18 to 20 years. And Venus is on the South Node 2 times every 18 to 20 years. So Venus has been on the South Node before last year. I should compare that note, but she was there during the time of the beginning of the Hamas incursion into Israel. Venus South Node energies happened last fall. And we had an eclipse here. And here we go. We're going to have an eclipse here October 2nd at 9 or 10 degrees of Libra. And before that happens, we see Venus South Node again. So last time it was Hamas, incursion, war, Gaza. What is it this time? Because we're back again. The goddess of peace has a leak in her bucket. South Node removes the peace, weakens the peace, takes it down, right? The goddess of love and peace takes it down. And this is contracts and agreements, Juno. I often see Juno when people are forming alliances like the BRICS nations, or when they're forming legal treaties and contracts and vows and agreements like a marriage contract. So if there's a desire for peace in the Middle East and something's trying to be formed and hatcheted away, could this be a downdraft in a peace agreement in the Middle East when around September 3rd, where things go south, basically? Possibly that's what that is for the world. We shall see. Nation of Israel is a Libra rising. What else can we say about this sky? As we move forward, and I trundle it forward by days, we want to notice that we have a new moon around. I should have gone back to September 3rd, new moon. It's going to be here at 11 degrees of Virgo. Don't even imagine you don't see it. That's okay. It's at 11 degrees of Virgo, 2nd and 3rd. And it's also conjoined with or close to the star. You can't see the star here, but it's in my video for the moon that I just created. It's a star that can bring difficulty. It's called Zosma, and it's about hubris, pride, arrogance, selfishness, but also can be connected to misfortune. So there's a difficult energy on that particular new moon. And you'll notice that this is the asteroid that is the Apophis. And the reason it's a creator, it's a destroyer of the sun god Ra. The evil serpent and weeds the sun god Ra. But it's because this asteroid is close to Earth and could hit the Earth in 2027 or 2033. But now NASA says no, it won't hit us. I'm still doubtful that's true. But the point being, why are all the rich people building underground bunkers for the last decade? Really? So basically, Apophis can be foretelling catastrophic events. Sorry, guys, I sound like Joni Petrie. Catastrophic events that could come off of this new moon when in the 1 month that follows the new moon of September the 2nd, if we're going to go proximate, and longer of 6 months for any new moon. That's a difficult moon, but there's a Vestal flame of sacred devotion. And in my All Signs video, I bring the bright side of that out as well. The Vestal flame is there as well. Okay. moving forward in the sky. I'm not going to go through every little detail. I just want you to trundle along with me. Remember, we say Venus is in Virgo, right? Mercury will be moving to collaborate with the whole story. And he will be moving into Virgo as well. Now we have this nice sky. We're moving on. It's September the 9th through to, things are feeling good. September the 9th to maybe the 22nd, when both Venus and with both Venus and Mercury in their home kingdoms, you Libra rising sun moons and you Virgo rising sun moons are getting a nice glow up off of this. You're enjoying the vibe. You're feeling good. Those of you who are Taurus rising and Venus rising, Libra rising, are Venus ruled, feel good. Those of you who are Virgo rising and Gemini rising get a strong sense of yay you because of the dignity of your ruler. This is going to be a nice sky for most of us. But then when Venus loses dignity, things go south. That's September 23rd. We're going to keep progressing the chart forward. I also asked you guys to notice something else about the month. Where are my notes? The semi-square, yes, and the eclipse teaser. Okay. So we move forward and we're going to have an eclipse, and the eclipse is occurring on the 18th of the month before things go really south. Let's just jump ahead. Honestly, just jump ahead. September the 18th. What do we see? We're going to have an eclipse that is going to happen around 25 degrees to 26 degrees of the sign of Pisces, yet it's a hybrid eclipse because the nodes have not fully shifted signs yet. So when we move to the sign of Pisces, we're going to see, what month am I in? We're going to see the moon over here, but I'd have to take it back a bit. Give me a few seconds. September 17th, actually. So on September 17th, depends on your time zone probably, but on September 17th, we have an eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces. There we go. Good enough, right? So here's the eclipse. Right here. Right here. Can you see it, guys? Should I annotate the eclipse? Okay. That's the moon full in the sign of Pisces. It's with Saturn. It's got some heavy energy, right? And the new moon was opposite Saturn, but it's wedged between Saturn and Neptune, and it's really quite close to Neptune. There's a retrograde Neptune feeling of foggy confusion, illusion, delusion, and clarity and revelation under the light of a full moon in the Pisces part of the sky in the United States Sibley natal chart. Pisces is the part of the chart that represents the current Republican Party or the party in opposition. And there's some revelations coming off of this eclipse connecting to change and hardship in the Republican Party. Generally speaking, that's how I'd interpret that. Also, maybe a full moonlight eclipse with hardship connected to land and homeland of the United States of America over the course of the 6 months that follows this eclipse. You also might notice at the same time that this eclipse is happening here in the sky, that we still see the catastrophe swallower of the sun god Ra on the sun reflected by the lunar eclipse. So again, this isn't the most auspicious energy that begins to germinate on September the 18th from this full moon hybrid eclipse, with the north node still in the sign of war, weapons, soldiers, conflicts, and fighting. Therefore, it has the flavor of armament, of difficulty to do with warlike things. And of course, Aries involves terrorism as well and terrorist activity. It's also squared in a whole sign square, this north node. Who rules this north node? Mars in homeland, patriotism, attack on homeland. And in the United States Sibley chart, this is the 8th house of mass death. I'm so sorry. I do not like the way this eclipse looks, because having the north node squared by Mars in his detriment is not a positive indication for a lovely action from the moon being full, ruled by activated by proximity to the north node in the sign of war, squared by Mars in detriment. Hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. If you are the nation of Israel and you are a Libra rising, which you are, and you've got that south node problem, which is why you're at war again and again and again with your neighbors. Every time this happens, every 20 years, there's a new problem, and there are neighborly relationships. And this is going to be indicating that there's Mars war or terror or aggression connected to what part of Israel's natal sky? That would be Israel's 10th house. 10th house of ruler, 10th house of leader, 10th house of government, cut and sever, with all that Mars energy going through the top of the leading party of Israel's chart. For how long? Like for 6 months minus a break. The break between November 4th and December 6th is indicating that Israel's having a huge amount of turbulence and change and problems with its government, basically. Okay. Finally, we're going to move past all of that. We get rid of all that mess that I made. Why not? And we're moving forward. So now we're hit the eclipse and we're moving into the Saturn half square to Pluto, most active around the 25th. Now, it's a long, slow moving story. So when I say the 25th, 26th, it's when it really begins to be more degree based. All right, degree based. And as I said, I'm not a fan of the half squares really, but I can't say they don't work. Okay. This is a hypothesis, as all astrology is an empirical science. I know that Rick Levine loves his half squares. You know, I met Rick at the NCGR in the elevator twice. I kept bumping into him everywhere I went. So bless his wizardly soul, he likes them. So let me entertain the possibility that it is meaningful and it's not just, you know, all made up. So as I move us into like this story, watch what happens. Okay. You know, we see, let's go back a bit. Excuse me. You can say that this is a 14 degrees and 41 minutes, and this is 29:42. And if you were to divide the space between them, it's basically a half square. So what is a square? A square is an angle that is 90 degrees. And so half of 90 degrees is 90 divided by 2 is 45. So there's 30 degrees here, there's 14 degrees here, there's a degree here. So we have a 45-degree space between Pluto. We have a 45-degree space between Pluto and Saturn. Saturn traveling with a sea serpent in a hardship of water with sea god Neptune here is intense. And I forgot to mention, but we do have Apophis in the mix across the way, right? And we just think that Apophis is basically just gnarly as all hell. And Apophis just makes this whole story about catastrophic water events. And on the new moon, Apophis was more directly opposite Neptune. So portending a month of catastrophic difficulties with water, hurricanes, floods, etc. I tracked Apophis to Fukushima, the tsunami in relationship to Gong Gong here, to also big floods in 2007 and tornadoes throughout the United States. So I tracked this asteroid to do with climate catastrophes, to do with water already. I know that to be true. I'll be doing more research into it. So it's when Apophis and Gong Gong are opposite or square each other that we see the problems happening. Now, the semi-square is happening here between these two planets. There's a nice 45 degrees away. I don't know what this is. Let's see what this is. But this is happening the week of September 25th to October 2nd. I'm highlighting that week because we're talking about September. But it just feels to me like looking at that with Pluto in Capricorn, land, mountains, resources, water. If it's a climate issue, it's shorelines where land meets water. So a crisis on shorelines, well, it can be tsunamis, and it also could be hurricanes making landfall. The last week of September, we might expect a massive, big problem hurricane in the sky. United States, because asteroid America is conjunct Pluto. I'm focused on that USA story. What else? Well, because also in this chart, this is the home and homeland and the property of the United States of America. So we're back to America again, this hardship in America. And that is, if we're going to have a pandemic, could we have a pandemic off of this? Well, Asteroid Pan, for panic and pandemonium, has been tracking pretty close to Mars, the god of plagues. Let's put him in there. Let me just stop the share to do that. Let me go back and see where panic, pandemonium, and pandemic asteroid is during the sky. Give me a minute, guys. We're going to add them in. Minor bodies, Pan. There are many things. Apollo's connected to plagues. I'll add him. Pan is connected to plagues and pandemics and all that stuff. And there's other asteroids we could add, but let's just make that simple because my software doesn't have all the asteroids. So I'm kind of stuck with what I can use without heading over to astro.com. Do I sound like one of those? I do. I laugh about Joni Petrie. I like her, met her too, but she's got that sort of like doomsayer with a smile on her face vibe. All right, here we have it. So am I sharing with the screen with you guys? Yeah, I am. Okay, so here we have it. Bottom line, there he is. There's Mr. Pan for pandemic at 0 degrees of the sign of Cancer in the last week of the month. So Mars, the god of plagues and pandemics, because he's the emissary of Nergal, the god of war, and the god of pandemic. I can't get rid of that now. And we also see this half square here. And Pluto is in a whole sign opposition to Mars, right? And we all know that Mars will be exactly opposite Pluto as we approach the election. And that's going to be a very intense time as well, as Mars will be moving through the around the 4th or so. He moves into Leo, but he will be in an opposition at the end of October, beginning of November to Pluto. So I don't know, guys, what do you guys think in the comments? Do you think that's a pandemic or a water event or what, or a terrorist action? The asteroid Chaos is tracking with the situation as well. I can't draw it in now. I'm annotated out, but hang on, clear the drawings. We're also seeing at the end of the month, I can't get rid of my drawing. That's too funny. At the end of the month, the last week of September, Chaos, Moon are traveling together here with Pan for panic. Panic, Chaos, Mars, Moon, Cancer, 8th house Sibley chart. Either it's a stock market panic sell-off, or it's panic to do with some event that's causing some death or chaos in the United States of America, connected to home and homeland, as well as connected to money and resources, Capricorn. End of story. We're going to stop the share. I'm not going to talk about any more doomsday scenarios. We're going to move on and do your sign. When I do your sign, people always ask me, well, sun, moon, rising, what do I do? I think of the sun as your eternal nature that goes beyond one body, one lifetime. It is the essence of your divine intelligence. You can also put it towards purpose and career, because most of us become on the planet active in a 10th house thing that our soul is doing. Like, why am I here? Am I going to be a homemaker? Am I going to be what am I doing in my life here? So we see the visible outpicturing of the sun is most often career and purpose. And the moon is the body-mind complex, and it's the life force, the breath of life. It's the soul, more temporary aspect of our divine incarnation. We can look at it as a categoric thing to do with our home, because moon represents home, Cancer, 4th house, but it also can represent our feelings and our life force animation, our prana, the thing that livens the body. Joe Biden had a Pluto square his moon, Pluto a solar arc opposite moon, an eclipse to his moon last October. His life force energy is waning, and his mind, his moon, is in trouble. That's an example. And finally, you can look at the energy of your ascendant as the character you play in the game of life. If this is a video game, the game player, your eternal nature, right, maybe the sun, but your avatar is your ascendant. Avatar, the character has all these features and characteristics. Or maybe your ascendant, you can look at it as this is a role you're playing in a movie, and your actor self is your sun, your core and essential nature playing the role. Those are ideas. Okay, listen, for all of them, your ascendant is most accurate for most people most of the time. I find the older I get, my sun gets also more accurate. I think it's because I'm living more from my solar essence than my character. We'll go with that thesis. What do you think? You can all tell me if that seems accurate for you. Are you finding your sun sign is more accurate as you get older? I'd love to know in the comments, or that your rising sign is more something you're leaning into. And I almost forgot. Yeah, the reason we're doing all signs, as I introduced it, is when Venus crosses every year fixed star Spica and fixed star Arcturis in the sky, we get, and that is a star that's now at 24 degrees of Libra. It was at 23, a while ago. Like, people are born when it was at 23. Like, every 72 years, the star changes a position by 1 degree. That's just by virtue of the wobble of the Earth, etc. Stars aren't moving anywhere. We are proximate to our visual reference point. So precession of the equinoxes, etc. But I would say to you that if you have any planets near 24 Libra, 23 Libra, you were born with these lucky stars activated in your chart. So that's exciting for you. The planet near the star is highly blessed by that star. But we're going to talk about your sign. I'm going to show you the sky. I'm going to show you when Venus touches down with that star. We're going to rotate the dial through your sign. And I'm going to give you advice on how to use the lucky momentum about a 4 or 5 day period of time when Venus and Spica are up and running and Venus and Arcturus are up and running. Both luck, money, safety, blessings, goodness, riches, and fame are all possible during the window of time that this happens in. All right, guys. So we're looking at Spica Arcturus. Arcturus is a herdsman from the Boots constellation, Booty's Boots. And Spica is a sheaf of wheat in the hand of the Virgin. It's about prosperity, auspiciousness, luck, grace, and goodness, and protection. Both are protective stars. Both can bring wealth, success, and fame and goodness. Spica means no harm done. As you great your success, all is well. Ahimsa, goodness to everyone. So these stars are going to be active the 16th to the 19th of September for everybody in the world. And don't forget, the 16th and the 19th of September, we have Venus in dignity. We have Mercury in dignity. We don't have a super gnarly sky on the 16th and 19th. Yes, we have an eclipse in Pisces. That's a separate story. This is the story of Spica. This is the story, Spica. This is a story of Arcturus. So let's get rolling. Some people say Spica, some say Spica. Use your own judgment. I don't care. How you pronounce it is S-P-I-C-A. All right, here we go. And it's happening here in Libra. And by the way, what's happening on that eclipse in Pisces is an aversion or in conjunct to what Venus is up to. She's paying no attention to the eclipse. It's a separate narrative. It's safe to do a magical talisman or something, in my humble opinion, because she's not even talking to this part of the sky. But let's go through what it means for you, because you might notice that not only is she flowing, not only is she here with her sun, Eros, which means life force and life force and rejuvenation and finding the passion of life, the spark of life energy, but also she's flowing to Jupiter with Cupido, also her sun, right? And so we can see this as a beautiful energy for the world. We're feeling it, that we feel the Venus trine Jupiter energy, the 14th and the 15th into the 16th. And the 16th to the 19th, we follow up with Spica and Arcturus. So I guess I could say super blessed window of time from, let's go, the 13th to the 19th, the 13th to the 19th for all signs, with spectacular energy the 16th to the 19th as she travels over the territory of Spica, and Arcturus. So Aries, sun, moon, and rising, we're short on this one. This is really just a touch-up from your all signs videos. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. What a little bit of blessing in your sky. You're going to really feel it from the 13th to the 19th with the trine to Jupiter, a spark of luck in projects to do with writing, communicating, and traveling, contracts, deals, and negotiations, super lucky energies regarding financial success coming through significant other people in your life, any significant other people, your marriage partner, your business partner, your agent, your clients and audience. If you want to travel during this time, because the third is a short distance travel house, great blessings with travel, especially if you travel with some significant love partner, bringing a great glory and goodness to your story. This is also a sky that can open up a doorway for significant financial opportunity or gain if you are somebody who engages in social media, commerce, marketing, and selling in the online world. That's a juicy spot of success for you. Jupiter and Venus together bring luck upon luck, but with Spica, a particular intensity on the 16th to the 19th, I would use it if I was going to engage a first date, right? For the first time and you were single, I would go on a first date anywhere between the 13th and the 19th, but it would be sweet and super sweet for meeting a very important and very powerfully positive person in your life, the 16th to the 19th. The goddess of contracts is here. And if you want to do a legal vow or contract or agreement regarding travel, regarding writing, regarding social media events and commerce and selling, legal contracts and agreements are highly, highly lucrative, successful, and lucky during the 16th to the 19th in particular. And finally, if you're in a long-term committed love story as an Aries, your partner is having luck. Your partner this time of year is having a bolt of goodness as Venus crosses through Spica. But also we're talking about that rare once every 12-year flow to Jupiter, where you can get Spica luck and blessings, Arcturus. We're just going to call it the lucky stars blessings. I should call this, I should call this brace for change and turbocharge your lucky stars. Your lucky stars are activated here in a once every 12-year ways with cooperation from Jupiter. So your writing project contract, your business online success, it's amplified, and audience marketplace glow up, and your significant love partner is also having some successful, unexpected, beautiful outcomes in their life that Jupiter fortifies as lucky breaks when it comes to business endeavors connected to travel as well. Finally, siblings. I say finally a lot, don't I? If you have a sibling one younger than you, they may also be getting some of this glow as Jupiter blesses the house of the younger sibling and Venus doubles down on it from the Spica Arcturis blessings in the Libra part of the sky. If I was going to harness this at a very practical level, I was thinking, how can I use it? Because sometimes you want to use the sky. Maybe you could do a outreach to somebody, a phone call, a text message, it's an email. Third house is communication that's important to you, connected to work matters, Mercury and Virgo, that email, that phone call, that document. I'm an Aries sun and moon. I'm trying to get a book proposal ready for the agent who wants to see if she can shop it. And I want to get that done when Venus is in Libra, but this is the sky to send it to her, to say, okay, it's September 16th. I've been working on it. Here's what I got, So that is a way to harness the blessings of the sky to initiate something with a significant potential for legal contracts, agreements, commitments, using emails, phone calls, and texts, third house things connected to work matters where Mercury sits. That's called an election, to do something on a day in which something good can come from it. When would I do it? Probably after the eclipse. So the 19th to the 20th or so would be safer for all said and done. There's Venus 22. So let me double check something. How many days does it take her to get completely out of orb? Yeah, the 19th, 16th to the 19th, best for the magical part of it all, the election part, not wild cards with eclipses. I wouldn't initiate something important on the day of the eclipse, right, which is the 17th. All right, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. What can you do with this beautiful lucky stars break happening on the 16th to the 19th, preceded by the perfect Jupiter trine to Venus on the 14th and 15th? And so 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. Your luck is upon you. It is luck in your money, earnings, financial resources. Is there some kind of money luck that you really need? Do you need to possess more money? Do you need to get a break in your earnings? Do you need some kind of financial wellness break? Because that's what's trying to happen in this window of time. You're trying to get a financial good thing going. And because Venus is over here, watch for the eclipse, of course, on the 17th. Because if you want to initiate some luck, wait till you're after the eclipse. Wait till I'd wait till the 18th, 19th here to get that Venus blessing on the two lucky stars. But when she moves into orb of those stars, it's also connected to work matters. And so you can have some significant financial blessings if you want to initiate it, apply for the job, tell your boss you want a raise, ask for the promotion, apply for the up level. This is where money and work things are sweet on you and your luck is upon you. And it's a once every 12-year kind of luck because we have Jupiter in the money house relative to Venus in the work house. That's the rarity of this. So I might call this rare. I'm thinking what I would call this video, rare lucky star sky ahead, all signs or something. Now, Jupiter here, he kind of wants you to find, because he's in Mercury sign, right? He wants you to find something connected to luck that's also sparked from the Virgo spot. Guess where Mercury's sitting, telling Jupiter what to do. So can you find some money, luck, when you lean into the fifth house, which is also what brings you inspiration, what brings you joy and enthusiasm? It's not just about money and work. It's about that spark of joy. If you have any kind of health challenge you want to turn around, then I'm looking at this whole 13th to the 19th as a positive time, especially if it's because of something that you ingest and it brings you pleasure. The Eros life force, Jupiter, overextending your pleasures orally. And this could be a time of really looking more critically at what your pleasures are, deeper than things you ingest or taste or eat or drink or smoke, because Mercury is in the house of true joy. And so what brings you deeper joy? And I kind of want you to think about this as a possibility in the sixth house. If you're inclined, you might be thinking of the sixth house as a house of pets, and we possess a pet. Jupiter is lucky possessions, benefic possessions. If you've been yearning as a Taurus for a pet and you don't have a pet, then I would use this time to get a pet. I think it could be a beautiful opportunity, especially with Mercury and the Sun together, ruling the fourth house of home, to bring a pet home. So, I don't care if you adopt a pet or, get a breeder all lined up. Pet stories can become extremely auspicious as a choice point, especially around the 17th, 18th, and 19th of the month. Just want to kind of get on the other side of that eclipse, really, in general. Actions initiated during eclipse can be unpredictable or intense or wild card-ish, right? Gemini, sun, moon, and rising. Well, we have this lucky stars in your fifth house every year with Venus. The rarity is Jupiter. Jupiter is like, oh, I'm going to participate in a glorious trine from the house of you. So all of you Gemini, sun, moon, and rising, you're lucky right now, right? You got golden horseshoes up your bum and you got four-leaf clovers in your hair. And, this is going to be upon you until the June 9th of next year. It's been here for a while, since this year's May. And you got the luck story going. And so you're lucky. Not only was it May? When did Jupiter get into Gemini? But whatever, you got it now. So you are lucky, you are lucky, you are lucky. What's wrong with luck, right? You got it. Lose it or use it. But now this luck with life force energy Eros is flowing towards pregnancy, fertility, children, creativity, business enterprise, things to do with sex and romance, and finding a love partner under the sky is beautiful for single Geminis. So it's really a good one to pick up a new love story and have a really powerful event happen. Like, why would you not want that? You wouldn't. You want it. So starting around the 13th, 14th, and 15th, there's a Jupiter trine to Venus, both hooked up to life force, passion, Eros, falling in love energies. And then you add the lucky stars that come right after, the 16th to the 19th, making this an ideal window of time to go on a date, to set up a date, to go on a dating app, to meet someone new. It may spontaneously happen, but you can initiate the energy for yourself by taking action as well and getting the dating scene going. If you want to buy a winning lottery ticket, as opposed to a losing lottery ticket, Venus is the house of gaming, speculation, casinos, gambling, winning money in competitive things, games of chance, and she's with the lucky stars. Now, she's there every year. So every year when she crosses this part of the sky, it's not a bad idea for you to get a ticket. But this is Jupiter adding extra luck for you to win money. And so as a Gemini, it's time to play your game of chance, but don't go overboard. One ticket is all you need to win. You do not have to spend a fortune to win a game of chance. That's when gamblers don't know better. But I mean, obviously, logically, if you're going to win, you're going to win on one ticket. So buy the winning ticket, as my guy says all the time. Your children are blessed when Venus goes through the house of children, and you're fertile. And Jupiter in the first house means that you or your partner can be happily conceiving a child during this transit. And if you've been trying to conceive, of course, is a good time to try, because this would be successful conception. And your children are lucky, and your children may have lucky breaks during this transit as well. We're seeing the 13th to the 19th as a glorious window of time. Creative projects, artistic projects can come out well. If you thought you should sit down and write a book or start a song or create a new project creatively, then auspiciously choose to do it then. Choosing any time between the 13th and the 19th opens up doors of blessed beginnings, particularly the 16th to the 19th, when Venus is enmeshed within those two stars, and Mercury and Jupiter still in orb of this trine. So yay, it's blessed, blessed energy for you. Now, this is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What happens here is you're going to feel the energy and the power of Venus every year, crossing these powerful stars in the fourth house of land and home and property and real estate and things you're doing in your quiet, domestic, private life. But this is every rarer event with Jupiter every 12 years supporting this luck from the 12th house. It can look like some unexpected financial gain that you could happen for you, lucky financial breaks. If it's to do with property, land, and real estate and money made from international companies, far off foreign shores, or even something to do with a foreign buyer. Because with Juno here, if you're trying to sell a property, this is a lucky time to do it. It's a lucky time to list a property as well. So if you want to list a property for sale or sell a property or make an offer on a property, this is very lucky time for you between the 13th to the 19th of September. And Venus is right in the heart of those stars on the 16th to the 19th in particular. Lucky things are happening in and from your home. That's for sure. And Jupiter in your 12th house can indicate some lucky and expansive opportunities for travel far off foreign lands and shores. But because we have Venus in the house of home, it may involve also someone from a far off foreign shore who's a female visiting you and bringing you some exceptional luck or exceptional blessings and circumstantial blessings during the 13th to the 19th of the month of September. And I think that some of you may have opportunities to travel with people you knew in your childhood, including siblings travel and travel plans being luckily opened up or formed in a blessed, exciting new way, because where Mercury is sitting, who rules the Jupiter story. And that looks like that could be also sibling or childhood travel or local distance travel, long distance or local travel involving siblings or extended family members. Oh yeah, open up for you again, September the 13th to the 19th. And it may be surprising because of the whole sign trine between Mercury and Uranus. Unexpected travel. So Leo, how do you use the lucky stars of this Venus transit trining Jupiter in a way we haven't seen for 12 years? Well, first of all, Jupiter is in your 11th house. And what you want to do is you want to say he's in his house of his joy. And it's a house of good spirit and plenty, especially windfalls and pennies from heaven, great gains from your career, wishes and dreams coming true. Fairy Godfather is up there looking at the storyline with life force energizing Cupido for that passionate energy of falling for something or being vitalized by life force. And that Jupiter in this once every 12 years way from the 13th to the 19th really loves up Venus moving into those lucky stars. And those lucky stars are in your third house. And for you, it could be a glorious opportunity to travel with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, or to go towards them. Good luck coming from your commercial enterprises to do with writing, selling, marketing, social media, online world, some super lucky events that could occur amongst or for your siblings, and you're getting to see it happen because elder sibling one above you, Jupiter, and sibling down below you, one below you where Venus is sitting, indicates luck for siblings as well, one above and one below. This energy could look like a golden opportunity to start a new writing project. And if you are a writer and you want to start a writing project, do it during the 13th to the 19th. If you are wanting to travel, take the trip then or plan it then. It'll have the blessings embedded within it. Book the tickets then. The blessings are in the time of the booking. It's baked in, you know? This would be shorter distance travel, domestic travel, or at least continental, not likely to super far off foreign places and lands. You may start new relationships if you want to do dating on a dating app or meet somebody. This could be auspicious, especially if you meet somebody through friends and events with friends and social activities with friends. And if you have an opportunity to do something social with friends, you might, as a single Leo, begin the love of a lifetime during this transit. A lot of Cupido falling in love energy, Eros falling in love energy during this time of the 13th to the 19th, indicating it's a time to begin to look at your social groups and social circles as maybe bringing you into contact with a powerful new romance, especially because Jupiter rules your house of falling in love. So you could fall in love this time. So this is your time. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. What a sky. Lucky stars, Venus trining Jupiter in a way we haven't seen now for 12 years. So, wow, it looks like a career and money blessing for you. And you can use it and you can activate it too, because if you're looking for a job, wanting to get an interview, wanting to ask for a raise or promotion, this is your time to use the sky effectively and bake in the positivity of your election, something you initiate. So between the 13th and the 19th, this is in play. I like the 17th. I like the 18th, 19th a little bit better because we got some eclipse energy moving through the axis of you and other people, right here. That kind of complicates life, but nonetheless, it still has its own blessings, and Venus is pretty pure on it. You definitely are looking like either the boss loving you up or some really positive feedback at work or a raise or promotion or extra dispensation or performance review, some kind of money glow up connected to career for most Virgos. And it's fleeting but fun and fascinating. I think with Jupiter up there with Cupido, it brings a lot of spark of excitement and joy into the work and professional setting. And you just are looking like you're at the top of your luck game when it comes to work. It could be anything: the perfect lucky client, the perfect lucky break, the perfect lucky performance review. And again, it could increase your financial wellness. And because the second house is your possessions as well, you may have a lucky break around a possession for your home. Jupiter rules the fourth house, even though he's in the 10th. And it'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I always wanted that Ethan Allen sofa and it was on sale half price. Something sweet like that could show up with lucky possessions relating to home during the window of time we're talking about, the 13th to the 19th. And if you want to buy a possession under this influence, it will be a possession that brings you great blessings. And just because Juno is here, contracts and agreements around work, you might get a new job or you might get a contract for something more powerful in your own work setting. Very blessed energy for you, the 13th to the 19th. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is your story, right? This is Venus coming through the lucky stars. Are you a Libra, sun, moon, and rising with your position between, I say, like 21 to 26 Libra? You're probably connected to the Spica Arcturis stars and the luck that they bring. They were at 23, now they're at 24. It depends on the age you're at. So you guys know the star. It's a part of your whole sign house of you, but it's definitely a star that wakes up every year when Venus crosses through the terrain of the star. But now it's every 12-year rare version of it, as we have flow from Jupiter now in your ninth house. It indicates the 13th to the 19th, a very lucky window of time, a very prosperous window of time. Connected to ninth house matters. Money from father figures, blessings from foreign travel and foreign lands, positive outcomes regarding publications, book publishing, academics, universities and colleges are all, yes, often quite lucky. You may have a teacher, guru, guide, mentor, or therapist bless you with something as well during this window of the 13th to the 19th of September. And closer to the 16th to the 19th, with Venus is huddled up with those stars, you are lucky, period. sun, it's about your career, moon about your home maybe, but it's your ascendant. Everything about you is lucky. So you're just so lucky. What the hell? What are you going to do with that luck? Jupiter does rule your third house. It could be a lucky travel opportunity, a lucky educational opportunity, a lucky email, phone call, text message coming in. And it's kind of like Lakshmi, ninth house, is a luck house with a prosperity vibe. So lucky breaks financially, just coming from wherever, from luck upon luck. Mercury is the ruler of what Jupiter's up to. Luck from foreign shores, foreign lands, and foreign places as well. Another ninth house meaning. To use it effectively, because everything you do is lucky during this window of the 13th to the 19th, especially the 16th to the 19th, you could use the luck in anything that you want to use it for. So think about anything you think that you want to be lucky at. You might want to go to the casino. You might want to be lucky in love, take a chance on a first date. Certainly lucky in book publishing. So this is a great time to submit a book to a publisher, try to find an agent, those kinds of things. So it's just your lucky time. Let me know how the luck feels, what goes on the 13th and 19th. Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear how that once every 12-year type of luck with Jupiter applying to Venus is opened up doors of opportunity, doors of expansion and growth for you. What is this like for you guys? All right, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Venus is in the lucky zone of the 12th house in at once every 12-year rare way, flowing to Jupiter and chunky money. Now, inheritance money is here, and you do have the potential of an inheritance or legacy wealth coming to you by next June. So possibly through somebody in a hospital, you get lucky money wealth. I have to say that's a possibility, especially with the South Node here, that you lose someone or someone's getting ready to pass, but you're going to receive some financial gain from them. That's a possibility, not a probability, but a possibility. And Mercury is with a solar figure, father figure in the house of windfalls. And Mercury is talking to Jupiter in a square, but also bossing Jupiter around. Most likely father figures can bring wealth to you in this window of time. So how does it happen? Again, to remind you of the dates of YAU, it's September 13th to the 19th, and Mercury being news and phone calls and text messages. Money is coming your way. Wouldn't surprise me. However, also with the 9th house, 12th house activated, this is also things to do with foreign lands, foreign tourists and travel, things to do with people from foreign places, things to do with what you do home alone, and backroom deals and negotiations. I'm wondering if possibly you're going to get a glow up in your career. Sun, Mercury in your 11th house of career gains, ruling Jupiter. Like a sign-on bonus, a severance package, a performance review bonus, a chunk of money off of career matters may occur here as well. To use this energy, it would be really a nice time for you to cautiously choose to invest in a stock, because that's where Jupiter is, likely in a foreign exchange from your natal country. Cautiously choose to, I'm always saying caution here, engage in some money endeavors, 8th house, connected to 12th house matters. This is a tricky one. The 12th house has a lot of subtle meanings, but it can be things to do with income generation from foreign companies and countries. And how you would engage that proactively is tricky, because you see there's a lot of background deals and negotiations in the 12th house. And so you may not be aware of how to use this. This is more like going to use you between the 13th and the 19th, but it could end up looking like some kind of unexpected career opportunity that allows for greater benefits from your career, greater gains from your career, etc. But again, we are looking at the long range possibility here of money coming from other people and other people's money benefiting you during the 13th to the 19th of September. Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is a sky that happens to be about 12 years rare, as Jupiter is loving up Venus on the lucky stars and also in the trine zone of good luck as well. We feel the energy the 13th through to the 19th as Jupiter engages Venus in that trine. And also she then slides into the lucky star home run. This is luck that may occur in a house of gains from one's career. And with Mercury ruling Jupiter, maybe a new contract or agreement regarding your career matters that bring you greater financial gain. Also, you may get greater gains through your friendship circles, especially one sibling, one older than you, can bring you some luck. Or a friend who treats you like, they want to be your best friend, ally, or benefactor, and you get some lucky breaks for those types of people. And with a Jupiter in the seventh, your marriage type partners and business partners and audience are also bringing you an incredible amount of luck. Jupiter means wealthy, prosperous, good person coming into your life, and then honoring the gains of your career. Some of your wishes come true, really. Maybe things to do with your marriage partner and partnerships. It's lit up in the sky. And if you don't have a marriage partner, or that's not a part of your story, that's fine. But other people bring luck to you, Jupiter in your seventh, that bless you in career gains, wishes come true, and some kind of windfall. So like almost lucky pennies from heaven dribbling down your head here. How would I use this? Well, I wouldn't be averse to buying a lottery ticket under this one, 13th to the 19th, if I were you. Mars is in the house of chunky money, ruling the house of lottery tickets. It's a possibility. North Node expands your luck here. Possibly you could win some money, but also you can't go wrong here. Venus is in the house of social groups, belonging, and something very sweet, 13th and 19th, through a social group, an event, or a friend can bring you an incredible amount of luck, and it flows to you, right? It's coming at you in a sextile from Sag to Libra. So it's very gentle, very kind, very lucky vibe. If you have any social invitations, please take them the 13th and 19th. They will bring you luck, and you might meet some powerful people who bring you greater luck over the next year, until June. If you're single, it can bring you a new love through social engagements. All right, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. I am thinking you're going to find this once every 12-year rare Venus trine Jupiter as she moves into Spica, Arcturis, lucky stars about career and work. Capricorns, without a job, you get a job, sun, moon, and rising, especially rising, especially sun. You need a job, you want a job, moon, good blessings around home. But it's coming at you through Jupiter in the house of work and health, and flowing to the house of career and reputation. A lucky break in work. If you have work, your work is going to bless you with lucky breaks. And someone's honking their horn to agree. Can you hear the honking? Jupiter rules your house of far off foreign shores and places. Lucky career breaks from people in far off foreign shores and lands may occur during this window of time. If you're not working, you're retired, and you're never going to work again, fine. Then maybe Jupiter's saying blessings in an active service environment, blessings to your health, Venus says, and your reputation flows with it. People in positions of power who are women can bless you. And a spirit of the dead just whistled in my ear. For some Capricorns, I'm going to tell you that a spirit of the dead is trying to bless you in health and reputation, work, and luck. Holy, that was a loud spirit. I used to talk to dead people in my 30s. I also used to remote view. Now I do astrology. Wow, that was loud. Now I'm recording. My sister's a Cap moon. My partner's a Cap sun. I'm wondering if there's spirits of the dead of those around me that are trying to get through right now. How would I harness this time? I would apply for a job if you need one. So anytime between, I would go on LinkedIn or something. I would do some searching for a job. Lucky breaks around jobs. To apply for a job under this energy. Or apply for a raise or a promotion or whatever. This is lucky. And this time is really active. The 13th to the 19th, with a special focus on the stars on the 16th to the 19th. Mercury rules Jupiter. Mercury's in the house of foreign lands. We get a lot of foreign land overlay on this one, far off places. It would be a good idea to apply for your favorite college or university. If you're going to go back to school, you're likely to get a yes. Of course, that would be maybe applying for a January term at this late stage of the game, but that would also work for you guys as well. Hey, Aquarius, I am one of you. Lucky stars are upon us. Venus is connected to Spica Arcturis. Well, she's moving through Libra every year, but this time in a once every 12-year rarity, she's also hooking up with Jupiter in your fifth house of speculation, money luck, gambling luck, competitive luck, entrepreneurial luck, love and romance, love, sexuality luck, and lucky with your children, and lucky with pregnancy and fertility, and lucky with conception of grandchildren. For a lot of you, this just could literally be the 13th, the 19th. You're pregnant, your kids are pregnant, you're going to be a grandparent, all said and done. But it's also the kind of luck that you win money. Venus is in a Lakshmi house, which is a luck and wealth house. And this is also Jupiter in a good fortune, especially with financial speculation and particularly lottery tickets. And we could say that this is your time to play and win a lottery between the 13th of this month of September and the 19th. That's the proactive stance around that time. Also, if you want to make a baby, practice sex during that window of time. Also, if you want to go on a first date, yes, and it could also indicate new romance connected to travel or far off foreign shores and foreign places, particularly going on a date with a foreigner or going to travel and going on a date. 13th and 19th for single Aquariuses can bring a new love story with lots of passion and falling in love. If you're already in a third marriage, second house is second marriage. I always forget about you guys. But this is a house of third marriages, luck in third marriages, passion in third marriages, marriage vows, marriage agreements, marriage proposals. If you're dating someone, they may propose to you under the lucky lights of these stars from a place of true love to the place of commitment. You can use this for book publishing deals and applying to educational settings, and you will have luck. It's not a bad energy to send your manuscript to your agent. Or it's not a bad place for you to find that your children have a glow up. You've got children already. This is Jupiter blessing the house of children. Lucky Spica. What kind of luck do they have? I don't know. Lots of luck is there for them too. They're lucky because they're pregnant. They're lucky because they got into their favorite school. They're lucky because they get to travel somewhere. But there's luck upon your children as well. Not a bad idea to tell your children that they're lucky on September 13th to the 19th so they can take some advantage of the luck that's there for them through your chart, right? Mercury is the ruler of what Jupiter's up to. He's squaring from the eighth house of chunky money. If anybody's going to win the lottery, it's Aquarians during this time. So he would deliver the chunky money and Jupiter would procure the chunky money and Venus would celebrate from the house of good luck. Very lucky Lakshmi house. So there are some stories for you. And that's kind of just enjoy the ride, enjoy this spectacular once every 12 years bit of luck. Pisces, finally, sun, moon, and rising. Here we go. You're going to be lucky in the following areas: property, land, real estate, home, buying, selling, mortgages, credit cards, banks, stock investments, inheritances, and legacy wealth. What's going on is that you have Jupiter in a 12-year rare transit through your fourth house. He's bringing luck till next year. This can bring you inheritances for sure from the family of origin if you have that potential. And during the 13th to the 19th, Jupiter is hooking up with Venus, who's hooking up with those lucky stars. This is about your chunky money. How can you receive money that you didn't earn? Is it coming through an investment? Is it coming through your partner? Is it coming through your business partners? Is it coming through your inheritances? Is it coming through that's about all I can come up with, selling a property and taking possession of some money? These are possibilities. I would use this energy wisely because it's coming only every 13 years, 12 years, I should say. With Mercury in the seventh house of contracts, agreements, and marriage, telling Jupiter what to do, and Juno involved with this. This could be a lucky contract with a buyer for a home, a refinance, a credit card company, say forgiving a debt, saying, oh, forget it, you don't have to pay it anymore. I mean, that's crazy, but these kinds of things could happen. So with a lender-lending contract agreement, you have significant luck. And if you're trying to buy or sell a home, this is positive as well. And we're looking at you using this to list a home or buy a home or make an offer on a home as an actual way to harness the success from the 13th to the 19th of September. And with Mercury in the seventh house in his great dignity, right? He's very strong here. And he's telling Jupiter what to do. Any contracts or legal agreements that you decide to sign will go very, very well. And so, if you do want to sign a contract with a lender, with a bank, with a mortgage regarding property, or even inheritance matters, this is going to be super powerfully auspicious for you in the window, especially in the window of the 13th to the 19th, when Venus is also diving in to luck and wealth stars in a wealth and money house. If you want to start a new relationship under this because you are single, it's a very strong possibility that this will be a relationship close to home, but hidden from view, but bringing great luck to you. It's a complicated story. Venus is in a hidden house, so hidden romance can blossom underneath the sky, and it would be auspicious because of the Cupido Eros part of it and the lucky stars involved. Even though I don't often say, why would we hide a relationship? This is the exception to the rule. A secret love story that begins now could be blessed with auspicious beginnings. And again, the 13th to the 19th. So if that secret love story wants to be initiated now, I wouldn't be necessarily resisting it. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's about all I have. And shared resources with your marriage partner is also super auspicious, especially if it's money generated at home, from the home, or connected to things you're doing in the home, including selling things from your home, because of Mercury in Virgo in the seventh. So you could have some auspicious on it. Like, you don't have to sell the home. You could sell something in the home that brings you a chunk of money as well in a lucky way. I thought nobody was ever going to buy that, in or on the home trailer or something, and you get a great offer. I don't know. I'm making up stuff. All right. Hopefully that was useful. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out Sky Reader coming up third week of September, last weekend of September. Jump aboard, do the thing, be a part of my community. And I'm out of here, guys. I'm going to head for a power walk and then a martini or something. I don't think I could do the wine lovers middle way when I'm working. I think I need to retire because, okay, maybe I will put another all points bulletin out there. Is there anybody in my Patreon community, in my YouTube land, who has a hack to get rid of the desire to have a beautiful glass of wine or a martini at the end of a workday? Give me some tips and tools. Really, I've got some great ideas for brain power. Lion's mane, thank you. But I'm always willing to hear what you guys have figured out. All right, ciao, ciao.